Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode.
Welcome back.
Today, Amanda wanted to talk about this sense of urgency that she recognizes she has, and it's an interesting juxtaposition for her because she is feeling this sense of urgency about life and things that she wants to do, see, experience, but then also going back into the world and recognizing how almost frenetic and fast-paced the world is, and how there's another part of her that really appreciates and values slowing down and doing one thing really well at a time instead of trying to do a bunch of stuff, which is how she used to be prior to her diagnosis.
Yes.
Is that correct? Did I summarize?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, which of those pieces do you want to expand on first?
Kind of going back into the real world and realizing how fast-paced it is. I mean, it seems like everybody is, they're late. Like, you know, the amount, I kind of saw this during COVID. I felt that people were like more aggressive on the roads. And I feel, even though I don't drive now, I do feel that whole frenetic energy of like, get out of my way, do that, like, I gotta get here. And it's just like, well, leave earlier. It's that simple. I don't know. And so I have really just, the energy of the world just feels very different for me now because I have been quite isolated. I wake up and go to bed around the same time, but it is at my own pace.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels like it's just so hectic. And my job, what I did as a career was I worked at a dental office, and at any given point, like 10 people can ask you for 10 different favors, and you have to like be like, oh shoot, which one's most urgent? So I was really good at prioritizing things, and then the rest of the day will get done. But it's just crazy. It feels like all the time.
So a couple questions. Does it bother you when everybody's late now?
Mm-hmm. I was never late.
Oh, you were.
No, to you, that's fine. But everyone else.
Me. And then you'd be, tell me, right?
Yeah.
But because you said it never bothered you, people just get there whenever. But now it bothers you, doesn't it? Because you value your time a little bit more, don't you?
I guess I don't mean like friends. I mean more the really frustrated person in line. That's what I'm talking about. Like, someone's so bothered because a teller is not going as fast as they think that they should go. That's what I'm talking about. Something like that.
Okay. So, do you find now, going back into the world, and we talked about this yesterday, so I think one of the things that's really cool about you is you have valued slowing down, right? No more alarm clocks for the most part. You get up, you ease into your day, as opposed to before you wake up, you just start immediately charging around doing stuff, and then you're going from the time you wake up until you just fall asleep at night. And now going back in, you were sharing with me earlier that you're recognizing that people are just, there's so much of this energy of people just got to do it. And you see your former self in that because you used to be that way.
Yeah.
And do you feel like now stepping outside of that, what is different for you? Do you feel like your mental health is better? Do you feel like your emotional well-being is better? What's different for you?
Shockingly enough, that a terminal cancer diagnosis made me slow down. And I now, I was always a little envious of almost people like one of my friends, Kelly, who owns Harmony House Yoga. because she's so present. She has this really gentle energy about her, and she's not frenetic at all. She has just this really mellow, very kind, very gentle energy.
Yeah, it's like her affect or whatever it is.
Yeah, and I have always been like, God, I wish I had that energy, or like, I wish I had that like level. But now I see myself doing it, like where
Absolutely.
I'll come outside and I'll just like sit and read a book for a little while, or just stare at the birds or something. But you know, I don't have to be constantly doing things and being busy and doing this. I really have valued like the small moments that are just day-to-day life, and I don't feel like I'm needing to rush around to do things. I feel my cancer diagnosis really has given me a chance to calm down.
Yeah, you start to, if you listen to the lessons that these life wake-up calls provide,
Yeah.
I think you start to take inventory on things and really what matters most, what's most important.
Mm-hmm.
And you start to see, just like really recognize who you are and where you fit and where you just don't fit.
Yeah.
That's why I've told you so many times, I arguably will feel the loneliest in my life at a concert or some like crowded venue like that, because I just don't, or in the middle of a busy store or something like that, because it just doesn't feel energetically aligned with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not the place to go. So there's that, but then on the contrast of it, there's this sense of urgency that you've been experiencing where it's, oh my gosh, I gotta do all the things.
Yeah.
And I gotta do them 5 minutes ago.
Yes. So I do feel the one thing that I had the urgency in what I want to do is the friends that I want to see. And that is kind of the urgent thing is, I mean, none of us know how much time we have left on this earth. And there are people that I would be very sad if I didn't get to see them this year or one last time. And I don't mean to say that, but I mean like my friends that are out of state and stuff. And I've really been kind of reaching out to some friends and just saying like, hey, do you have any time this year that we can get together or do things like that? And it really kind of prioritized, I mean, I can't see everybody all the time,
Mm-hmm.
but I can make sure I can tick off certain people that I haven't been able to see either since my diagnosis or the surprise party.
Yeah, something magical happens when you slow down with all the bullshit.
Yeah.
It gives you an opportunity to speed up with a substance.
Mm-hmm. And
most of us spend our lives with the opposite.
Yeah.
We speed up with the bullshit, and then we're so slow to get to the substance.
Mm-hmm.
It's the book, The 5 Regrets of the Dying, talked about that, about how many people say they wish, one of the biggest regret is, I wish I wouldn't have worked as much, and I wish I had spent more time with the people I love. Those are, I think, number 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then something else, I think the other one is easing up on myself, not judging, not so harsh on myself. And
that I experienced right away.
yeah, and you've been better with it. You're still, still working on it, but you've been much, much better with it. But I think it's an interesting juxtaposition, because both are urgency, right? Going out into the freneticness, the urgency of the world. And I think what I'm hearing you're recognizing is you're recognizing how much of that urgency is misplaced into the bullshit, even though it doesn't feel like it at the time. Like you said, you lived it, but now sitting in the position you're at with kind of the greater life perspective that you've adopted, you can see that how much of it you made so much of that to mean so much bigger than it really was.
Mm-hmm.
And at the sacrifice of a lot of the things that really matter most.
Yeah.
And now you're at this other space where you realize that, there's what I really realize is most important to me is certain people in my life and just making time with them. And now it's going back to creating a structure,
Mm-hmm.
right? About how you can do that, but also just do some things too. It's the things that you want to do, and instead of saying, "Oh, I'll do it later, I'll do it later," you start doing it now instead.
Like Catalina.
Yeah, exactly.
And yes.
Very good. Anything else for this one?
That's pretty good.
All right. We will wrap it up there then. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much for staying with us on the journey. And we look forward to sharing with you again here very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.